So for those of you who haven't seen some of the videos I've been doing on the channel, I kind of made it a goal of mine to get back into Fallout 76 and give it a try in 2025, just because I've been hearing so many people hype it up continuously, saying it's actually turned into a really great game now. And look, I had my skepticism. I think that's the word. Obviously, as a massive Fallout fan, you know, Fallout 4, Fallout 3, of course, the Fallout TV show has been so great to the point where when I first watched it and I saw freaking Alla Purnell as Lucy, I nearly freaking splattered all garlicky oily sauce out of my private parts onto the screen. It was so goddamn goated. You know, with all of those things being said and done, Fallout 76 is just not really something that I've played a whole lot of since the game, you know, the first couple years of the game, whether that was in 2018 or the Wastelanders update. I haven't really played anything of it since, so I made an admission to give it a go and just see what my overall thoughts and opinions on were with it. And I gotta say, a lot of the new content felt really, really great and really original, and there were a couple of things that I specifically decided to give a try. Of course, one of the first things actually happened to be the pit. I found the pit update quite exciting, considering this, I felt when I first heard it years ago, sounded like a bit of a nostalgia fest that Bethesda were trying to cash out on. And when I actually tried it in game, I had to say the setup was really boring to it. Like the first overall fetch and receive quests that you have to do in the White Springs Refugee were really annoying. Or refuge, I should say, not refugee. But once you got done with the setup, the overall quest and gameplay was really cool. Of course, you were basically taken to the pit. You had to go and speak to someone named Hex, who was part of the Union. And essentially, she had a quest for you in the Union Dues quest to go and save some people who were imprisoned. While you were going and saving some of the members of her group, you got to do a couple other side quests if you did decide to talk to certain people around the home base of the Union as well. And some of those little side quests you got to do at the same time were actually quite interesting. And yeah, there was a lot of really cool parts about it. The overall world building of the pit was really awesome. The villains were cool, and there was, quite frankly, you know, a decent amount to actually do in these short little quests. And it was something that actually had me intrigued for an hour, and I was pretty happy about that. Of course, though, an hour is an hour, and there's a lot of things you can do in an hour. You could probably watch like freaking 7 Mia Khalifa videos, even though your sausage would probably fall off once you're done with it. You know, you could go vacuum the house, you could go freaking clean your room, take your dog even for a walk. There's a lot of shit you could do in an hour. So once I got done with the pit, I was still looking for something else to do. And of course, if this was Fallout 76 in 2018, once you got done with that hour quest, there would be absolutely fuck all to do. Even with Wastelanders 2020, once you got done with Wastelanders, there was still nothing to do. But luckily in 2025, they have added so much stuff to the point where, I mean, I'm still playing and I'm enjoying myself. You know, there was a couple of things I was curious about though. Like, once I got done with the pit, I remembered Fallout actually added an update, you know, called Nuclear Winter, which essentially came out in the Battle Royale craze and the Fortnite craze, and Fallout tried to do their, you know, own take on it. Of course, that update came and gone, and they, I think, even deleted it after like a year because no one was playing it. But it got me curious, is anything like that still in the game? So I remembered Vault 51 actually got added with the Nuclear Winter update, but Vault 51 itself was never accessible. So I thought, you know what, let me go and actually check out Vault 51. And, well, I mean, funnily enough, you can actually go inside. You can go inside, explore, kill a bunch of things, learn some lore, do a couple different things here and there. Overall, I mean, it didn't really, I didn't really accomplish anything. I just wanted to see if they did change it. But where I'm actually going with this is, when I went outside, I actually saw a little cool thing where you could go and speak to this Mr. Handy robot outside of Vault 51 in a little underground area, and you could go and speak to this Mr. Handy robot, and this Mr. Handy robot would actually give you your own free mini vault shelter. And essentially what this mini vault shelter allowed you to do was you actually access this little area that Bethesda themselves do actually call shelters, and you essentially can put them at your camp. And there's not just this own little mini vault that you do get from this Mr. Handy. There's a ton of other shelters that Bethesda have added into the game, such as a bunch of ones to do with the vaults, but also ones to do with the pit and, of course, Atlantic City, which is another expedition update outside of the pit that they did do. Now, basically, you can add these little shelters to your camp, and you can go in them to the vaults, or if you've got a pit one, it will take you to the pit. If you've got an Atlantic City one, it will take you to Atlantic City. And usually there's a really big buildable area inside of them where you can actually build without using the same camp budget as your normal camp. So the camp budget normally is not exactly that great, but these shelters actually use their own separate different camp budget, meaning that you can build more and more and kind of till your heart's content. The only issue is though, is outside the little free one, which is pretty cool by Bethesda to overall get you started with, all the other shelters will pretty much cost you an arm and a leg. Like, they're pretty expensive. You actually find them through the Atomic Shop, and most of them are on the range of $15 to $25 Australian money. And then some of the others, I believe, you actually unlock through Fallout First, which itself is, I think, $22 Australian, which, I mean, holy shit, that is so expensive. You don't even get a freaking complimentary hand job with it. It's fucking pricey, I'm not gonna lie to ya. But even though it is very pricey, it is a very cool concept. And honestly, if you're super into Fallout and you just pay $20 a month and treat it like a subscription service like Disney Plus and whatever, you do get some pretty cool things in it. Like, you can get one of these shelters, and because it gives you atomic points if you do get that Fallout First, which is another thing they added to the game. Again, I'm going to be actually doing my own separate video pretty soon, I believe, on trying Fallout First and talking to you guys about all the benefits from it and if it's worth the money. But basically, yeah, Fallout First is a subscription service, which, I mean, gives you, I think it's 1,500 to 2,000 atomic points every month. And you can actually have access to like a season pass type of thing, like a Fortnite season pass, which was kind of, I feel like, pioneered in that game. You basically get to do that in Fallout, which you can unlock skins and all that type of stuff. So very, very cash grabby, but honestly, if you're a massive Fallout fan, it could genuinely just be worth it. Again, outside of those little DLC things though, and the cash grabby parts, they actually have changed the map so much. Like, there's a bunch of map expansions now in the game, especially to the bottom of the map. And as we know, to the left, we're actually going to be getting to go to Ohio just in a couple months when Fallout Season 2 does come out, which is going to be called the Burning Springs. And we're going to get a lot of really cool stuff with that, and I'm very excited to experience that. As far as the glitches go, I mean, this game does still have a couple glitches every now and then. Definitely nowhere near as much as what 2018 had, and even when Wastelanders came out in 2020, that presented a couple glitches. I mean, one of the weird ones I found is when I was entering the power armor in the White Springs, I was flat out just like clipping through a wall the whole time and looking like I was seeing freaking hell itself. That was honestly a very weird glitch that I feel like has been in the game since day one. You know, major clipping issues and all of that type of stuff. I just think Bethesda honestly probably have fuck all idea on how to fix it. But some other stuff I did like without even filming, you know, at the start before I even decided to make this video, was it's actually a ghoul update where you can legitimately transform into a ghoul, which I mean is kind of crazy. Like, you look really ugly, but at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure it burns all of your testicular hairs. Not that Bethesda really lets you see that, but I don't think ghouls really have much hair, so there's not much going on down there. There's a bunch of Brotherhood updates that they've added to the game. The White Spring has a massive overhaul as well. The map just seems overall more lived in, and there's much more NPCs roaming around and tasks to do. The only issue, one of the big issues that I feel like I did see was, I feel like the top, right of the map, other than the Wastelanders update and the Ghoul update, like that whole area seems very untouched. And you may think, oh, maybe it just doesn't need to be touched, but the reality is the whole issue with the top right part of the map, just the overall right part of the, top right in general, is that a lot of the content in it are still very 2018 or very 2020-esque, and it's very unenjoyable, I think the word is. There's a lot of random events that you can tell were very 2018 Fallout 76, and they're very boring and very repetitive, and a lot of them are like just the Call of Duty zombies of waves of enemies coming at you and trying to touch you without consent, or I don't even know. The map just top right kind of feels very deserted and overall not really updated, and that could be a thing that Bethesda have deliberately done, just because maybe the top right of the map isn't the most livable place, and maybe they feel like people just wouldn't have migrated over there, and I don't really know. That could just be me using an excuse on Bethesda not giving a fuck about it, but the top right of the map is very 2018 Fallout-esque, while yes, I still think about 5 to 10% of the rest of the game still does have that 2018 to 2020 parts, which are very boring and repetitive, and what a lot of people disliked about Fallout 76. There's some stuff you just can't really avoid, like the Overseer quests they did try to change up a bit, but can still feel a bit boring. As mentioned, the top right is very like events based, and the old events that were shitty, and I don't know, it just sometimes you do get reminded of the bad parts of Fallout 76 and what they were, just because Bethesda, they can't really change it, and they still got to have that old base part of the game in. So it is very interesting when you do look at it like that. But the content from 2020 Wastelanders and up, a lot of it's really good. They're continuously going with it. The Fallout 76 budget right now is believed to be the highest it's been since the game was, being created. And they've apparently got over 100 people working on the game. So it is very awesome, and Burning Springs is supposed to be the biggest update since Wastelanders. And I think they're trying to aim to have the biggest updates now every year, just because of the budget being improved since the show. So that's great, and there's never been a better time to play Fallout 76. Overall, it's way better and very, very enjoyable. Of course, though, I'd very much like to hear all of your thoughts and opinions on this in the comment section down below. What are your takes on Fallout 76 in 2025? Do you guys like it, or do you guys not? Do you guys agree with everything I'm saying in this video, or did you guys disagree? I'd very much like to know your thoughts and opinions down below. Subscribe to the channel though for all the latest gaming and movie content. My sports channel will also be getting linked down below. Go check that out. And go give my Instagram a follow if you haven't already as well. But as I was saying, if you haven't already, please make sure to leave a like, subscribe, and comment. And I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.